basketball simulation in virtual reality. And we chose that because virtual reality is the only medium right now where you can feel embodied and you really take on that experience. And my background's in business across different startups, finance, ops, marketing, but I really came to this from a user's perspective. I'm first generation American. My parents are refugees from World War II in Eastern Europe. And growing up, they didn't really encourage sports, especially for their daughters. So I never got the opportunity to play sports in my youth. I tried in high school, but didn't make a single team. But then in college, I met a phenomenal trainer who got me into bodybuilding. Very much not a popular sport, especially for women. But at the age of 30, I won ESPN's Muscle Mania bodybuilding competition. And it just made me realize, like, had I started earlier, I really could have played like competitively great sports. And like Richard's story, like now I'm like, I'm not going to go on a basketball court anywhere because I would feel so embarrassed in front of others. And I feel like with social media today, kids also feel that way, that they're not good enough. And I've also heard that from parents whose kids have tried our game, that it's like a non-judgmental environment that they can really try a new sport without feeling judged by their peers. And so I feel really, you know, really excited about what immersive tech can do or XR can do with sports at any age. It's very inclusive. And really, it's like the accessibility it gives to people, no matter what their skill level is. If they have access to those facilities, instructors, it really makes it inclusive for everyone. And especially for girls, like I know in the United States, like girls drop out of sports at age 14 twice the rate as boys do. And organized sports is so competitive. It really is so professionalized now that I think it's really the parents pushing their kids to be so great at it, that kids cannot have fun playing sports and they get burned out at an early age. So that's the reason why I think, you know, I wanted to do this in VR with basketball. And so we've developed this game where it's defense only, and you don't press a single button. And again, with VR, you can do all your movements naturally in this environment. So it's a real simulation. You're not sitting on a couch doing controllers or watching a video on gameplay. And we've had a number of professional coaches come up to us, and not only can you like watch back your own movement, but for any players that are injured, they can really, especially on a basketball court, view like and really develop their what they call court IQ in terms of, okay, what's my next play? And you just learn that in such a on a deeper level that you can like then more quickly respond to what the other people are doing on the court. So that's the other advantage of building in XR. So yeah, so we're really excited. And again, we're just taking whatever the technology is available to us now. So even in our basketball game, when we do offense, we're going to like have you try to shoot the ball in the beginning of the game so we can track that trajectory. And the physics behind it will tell you if you make a shot or not, just based on your form. So that'll make it more accurate, because a lot of the VR basketball games out there right now are just like social games, just try to get kids in the space communicating and, you know, having some shared experience together where there's nothing accurate about it. So with the hand movements, we've just focused on the game that can be played within a small space that you can practice your technique and things like that. And we make it fun for people by having a trash talking avatar that you compete against. And then I also want to bring in both female and male college players that you can select to compete against. And again, that makes it exciting. College sports here is huge. So they can really like play against their, whoever they follow in sports, along with NBA and WNBA legends. And I think, especially for females, like representation matters. So that's why I'm really passionate about getting female athletes into the game as well. And then we'll continue to offer game activations at real NBA and WNBA games, along with on college campuses as well for people to try. So that's what we're doing. And then we can evolve it as a multiplayer one-on-one, two-on-two game where your AI teammates can be programmed in real pick and roll strategies of basketball. So you will learn like real basketball while you're playing the game. And then we can involve like have coaches in there to, tell you your techniques and things like that as well. So yeah, we're really excited about building this. And I think for the future and for your committee, Majid, um, I feel like this can like you can also build experiences um, for to preserve the culture and history of these sports, especially for your indigenous communities, where you can even build within the experience like a museum for them to view or walk through, like how the sport evolved in their culture, and have different historians speak to those like early beginnings and how it evolved and came about. And so I think those types of experiences, even if you can't replicate the sport, given the technology limitations, I think the historical perspective of these like ancient sports can be also incorporated into that experience. Because like with our game, you start in a locker room where a coach speaks to you and takes your measurements. And I see this happen. So I see like that same format can be with some of these ancient sports where you can have them like go through and walk through like how it like really evolved and the cultural significance of that, and have different people speak on that topic, and it really immerses them, the user, to understand and get emotionally connected to that sport. Yes, basketball is very difficult, and I think VR sports in general are difficult to create because of the physics of the game. And that's if you and we've read the reviews on like all the competing sports games in VR on the MetaQuest store. And the biggest complaint from users is the physics are inaccurate, because when they think like the ball handling aspect of it, because they think when they like make contact with the ball, it doesn't show up in their experience. So we knew going in that would be a big challenge for us to overcome. But we found someone, and we knew that we had to accomplish that to be able to launch this game. So we just found someone who's very his expertise is in physics as a developer, and we met with the NBA front office early on, and they're like, "This is the best VR we've seen," and we see a lot of VR as well as a VR, another VR sports game. We met with their investor, and they said your physics in this game is like better than theirs. So that's really a key component if you're doing any ball type game, that the physics need to be accurate. And I'm sure Hattie would agree with. It's important to as you interview these experts on these traditional sports, to ask them what joy did they feel playing this game, like what is the fun in it, because I think in today's sports landscape, like I said earlier, like there's no fun in organized sports, and I've heard that from so many parents and kids that drop out. But I think it's more compelling if you can get people to like speak about the joy of that sport, because sports you can like gain so many different skill sets and like confidence, and you feel strong and you can have fun, like it's fun, like so I think that's an important aspect. And then as you build out these games, I believe with Hattie, like you don't want to overbuild any experience. I think a simple slice of the game to introduce them to it would be important, and then you can like evolve the game after that, and show the storytelling part of it, because it does become so immersive and emotive, so they get that feeling. But I think having capture it's really important to capture that joy that it brings to people who have played it earlier would be key.